Well, the inspiration for today's video comes from this video here. Actually, I was watching this great recreation of a shot from one of the legendary pool players, and I thought, wait a minute, it kind of reminds me of what I'm doing. So what I'm trying to do is basically recreate this legendary playing, and this shot here it was actually played under pressure, so it was a real tournament, and you can imagine just the level of insanity we're talking about here and the level of being legendary. And this professional player here was actually able to recreate this shot from, I believe, 14 attempts, and it's pretty much what I'm doing. So, but I'm not just replicating. My goal is to get to the heart of that and try to understand why it was played like that and not the other way around. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to react to the video. It's not something I'm usually doing, but if you think about it, all my videos are reaction videos. It's just my reaction is kind of with a delay, so not in real time. But anyway, let's just start. And here we can this is the difference between my little Squier and 58 Les Paul. When you compare it directly like that, it's just ridiculous. But it's a pentatonic scale. With this rake. It's here, by the way, in tablature here. And by the way, I forgot to mention, this thing here tells us that this song is actually in triplet feel, and what it means is that it's a swing basically, and these two here are sultans of swing, because if you imagine a song like Sultans of Swing, it's something like Layla without triplet feel would sound like but because we're actually breaking down this straight rhythm, which is 2/8 notes, into this triplet here, hence the triplet feel, and all it is basically a shuffle. So first note is longer than the second note, and you get this rhythm. You can imagine it as like your typical jazz rhythm. So that's for starters how the song goes. And this is the rake I was talking about, the pentatonic rake. And here, interestingly enough, I think Mark plays something, but it won't produce any sound. Probably because of the volume pedal or something, but I suspect that it was like this. And that's why I'm playing it like that. It's a great line here, continuing to outlining the chord pattern, because you can clearly hear from the solo how it outlines. So it's D minor, and then this note is a part of the B flat chord. Next chord is C major, so it's a great rhythm here, played in triplets actually, and it's 3/4 basically, and if you put a metronome it would sound like. Brum, bum, 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 bum. And I can even add this slap here. And that's C going to D minor again. Next goes this rake here, as found in songs like I just discussed, Calling Elvis, or Romeo and Juliet, and I think it was played also in Brothers in Arms. And I approach it like that, so it's a 7th position. I'm playing 4th string with the thumb and the same string with the index finger, and next the middle finger. So slowly it would sound something like, and the next note I either pluck with the thumb or I play it with the hammer on. But usually it's played something like, it's this aggressive but here it's so subtle, you can barely hear that. Here can barely hear that. Great dynamic range in this solo is astonishing. This is the fun part here, so outlining as always the clearly outlining this C major triad with a pull off, and same with D minor triad. And that's a good way to actually showcase. So that's all 8 notes, and the triplet feel it sounds like, because again the first note is longer than the second one and it creates the shuffle, and so without the shuffle it would sound like it would sound like that, straight and boxy. But because of the shuffle it sounds interesting. And again this shuffle, or not shuffle, again this rake, and you can barely hear that as well. And going up the neck, and so this solo actually going forward a little bit uses 4 pentatonic scales out of 5, and so it started here. Then the next pentatonic scale pattern, should I say, I think it was the third one. The next would be when this rake happens. It's actually that one, 5th, I believe. Next one would be the 1st, and the last one used is that one, the 2nd. And so 3, 5, 1st, and 2nd. So the only one that wasn't used is the 4th one. So it continues with the rake. To the 12th fret. And I actually like how here Mark plays with the ring finger, but then he switches to the 2nd finger here. Take a look. Here is the distinctive stretch here, because the next note is actually on the 13th fret. In order to achieve that, thumb, hammer on, index. So switch, and it's a huge build up here. Started here and then go and goes even higher. So dramatic here. This the hammer on line. I'm going to, as always, showcasing this dynamic range. You can barely hear this double stop here, the C major double stop. Amazing. And next, probably my favorite line in the whole solo. It actually starts with the volume swell. I can't play that because I don't have a volume pedal, but I can approximate it. And my favorite part here is how it sort of speeds up as being played. So it's actually played in the 1st position of pentatonic scale, the most basic, and so then that's the rhythm. So up until this point it's all triplets. So that's all equal notes, and then it switches, it speeds up a little bit, starting with this 16th note triplet. So in a way it kind of it's like this a little anticipation here. It's not the exact rhythm I wrote down here, is just approximation, but it kind of sounds almost. can think of it as triplets and then 16th notes, but it's actually a little bit more complicated than that. With a little bit of anticipation here. Just this icing on the cake. And here what I'm playing is so it's two tricks at the same time. So I'm playing this note on the 12th fret by laying my finger like that in a sort of a bar thing. So, and next trick is I actually roll my finger down to play this note. I almost after playing this bar, I almost switch to this bar and roll my finger like that. It's really hardcore stuff here. I don't know if Mark is doing the same. Hard to tell actually. Continuing to outline the chords perfectly, because that's the C major double stop combined with the E in the bass, so to make it a little bit more interesting. And immediately switching to this little rake, D minor rake. Okay, you can hear that. And a huge one step and a half actually bend, and with the volume swell as well. And the next part is also a masterclass on dynamic range, because I hear it like that. So I hear it like that, so it's basically the 12th position, 12, and a little rake. But you can actually hear only the bottom part of it, so it's like very subtle again. And then these two notes are as loud as you can. And it creates this huge dynamic range in this line. And add to that this unintentional mistake, and it's not a mistake, don't get me wrong, but I accidentally playing this second string here somewhere here, absolutely unreplicable unless you try for 15 times or something. Or something. Going back to the roots here, this pentatonic shape in different rhythm. Well, in the beginning it was with the rake, and here it's more like a plate with triplet feel. So without the triplet feel, it would sound like kind of boring, but with triplet feel it changes. To classic mark here. that's why I love him, I think, for this little subtleties. It's hard to play it without context. So something along those lines. Going to this great jazzy line. The way I approach it, I actually, and of course going through some of the changes here, B flat, C, to give myself a little rhythmic indication. What I do is I can fix that a little bit. So what I do here, I play the C chord here, then a pause, so it's more like here, like that. And because this line is in triplet feel, it shuffles, and so it becomes shuffles, and so I end up starting to play that line immediately after I play this little D minor thing. So it's and I actually also playing like that here, so I kind of break up the smooth pattern of, but it also sounds great. With all hammer-ons and pull-offs here. Slowly it would be this line here is interesting because it reminds me of the thing Mark played in the Calling Elvis. It was something like, so it's kind of a backwards bend coming from this direction here, but here it's more like that, but played with the third finger. And let me tell you, it's way easier to play it with the third finger, which is the ring finger. And it's just astonishing to me how he's able to come up with these fingerings on the spot, basically choosing the best, really the best way to play a line here. And ending on some triplets. And so that's solo, and now I'll attempt to play it with the video, and hopefully I can go through it.
Darling, won't you ease my worry?
And with tablature as well, if you don't mind. So something like that. So that's a solo for Layla, played by Mark Knopfler in 1997, I believe, for the music for Montserrat. This is a great solo, and actually, to me, it just represents the enormous dynamic range that Mark has in playing this barely audible then this anticipation and swinging feel. It's just filled with so many great little things, and it's just astonishing to me how much stuff stuffed in here, and style and taste and everything in between. I hope you liked it. Thanks for watching.